Donna Kinnair is the General Secretary and Chief Executive of the Royal College of Nursing, and she joins me now live. Thank you so much for joining us on BBC News. I wonder, Donna Kinnair, how do you feel about the government's plans to test all essential workers? Do you think that health workers should be given priority, or do you think that this is right?
So I think we need a stage where health workers are given priority, because actually it's health workers that have been providing the care. So if I just take my example today, I've been at the Nightingale Hospital, and actually in order for us to go there, we do have to be tested if we're showing symptoms to be able to not take time off and to be able to deliver the right care for our patients. But just reference to your earlier conversation about lifting the lockdown, we know that we haven't infected enough of the population with this virus. So for any lifting of any lockdown to be successful, we need not only to be able to test healthcare workers, but also to track and trace patients or people. We haven't infected enough of the population with this virus.
It's not a flu shot, it is the virus. My discernment say you wicked if I sit beside you.
Wait. I know you're laughing. I'm serious, man. The next 9/11 is going to be on some geriatric.
Now again, in Texas, we're seeing it, and we're going to see it all across the state. But most recently, there have been some medical people come out to say, that they're aware of the problem, and they're trying to speak out and do something about the vaccine injuries that are occurring, but they're getting blackballed. And this is a perfect answer to those, naysayers out there who just, blindly trust what the doctor has to say and the FDA, and they feel like, medical people seem to think it's all right, and so it must be scientifically sound, and anybody who disagrees must be a quack. Well, yet again, we have some medical people coming out saying no. Here's about a week ago. Let's see how far back this was. Titled, "Student Who Refused to Lie About Vaccines and Was Kicked Out of Nursing School Fights Back with a Lawsuit."
In Hebrews 11, verse 1, we're living in an era that really, I think, in many ways has been prophesied about for millennia. We're told that in the last days, men's hearts would fail them for fear. And we see that almost daily in various types and in various ways. Geophysical issues, war issues, economic issues. So many ways that we see fear mounting. We care more about ourselves than we do about others. We're so caught up in a survivalist mentality that we dare not help the person next to us, because if we do, then perhaps we might fall off the cliff ourselves. It's a difficult time for those who don't know God. For those who know God, it can be the most exciting time of your life. In Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1, it says this: "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." I want to talk to you today about fear. And I want to talk to you about how God kills fear in your life. You might take a look at yourself and you have concerns, you have worries, you have threats, your children, your finances, your home, your relatives, your family, any number of your boss, the company that you work for, the business that you own. In multiple ways, fear is trying to strike at the heart of God's people. And you may look at yourself and say, I'm not really born to do anything. I'm not really somebody who's going to change anything. I'm trying to survive myself. But that's what fear does to you. Fear makes you just only concerned about you. And then the more concerned you are about you, the fewer people you'll have impact upon. Because all of your effort, all of your energy, all of your spirit is consumed in you. The less fear you have, the more impact you're going to have. You go, how is that? Fear and faith have have this basic root principle in common, and that's simply this. They're both the belief that something that hasn't happened is going to happen. Something that hasn't happened is going to happen. Now, fear is the belief that something that hasn't happened, bad, is going to happen. And faith is the belief that something good that hasn't happened is going to happen. But they're both the belief that something that hasn't happened is going to happen, and it's difficult for fear and faith to exist in their fullness at the same time.